Hello, sweet people. I hope you guys are doing good today. I'm here inside of the van, warm and snuggly. It's in the 20s outside today, and I just didn't feel like going out today. I didn't even go for a walk. So I feel pretty good today. I wanted to share something with you guys that is very special and sacred to me, and that is my ancestor altar. So, most of you know that I've been living in my van for about 4 years now, almost 4 years. And it requires you to adapt a minimalist lifestyle. And that is what I have done. Actually, I've always been a bit of a minimalist only because my mother was such a pack rat. So it motivated me to just keep things clear, and I don't never have had a whole lot of stuff in my house or my apartments. And I've always felt good doing that. I've always felt like when you keep your space clear of clutter, you keep the energy flowing in and out. Good energy in, bad energy out. But if you have everything so cluttered and just things everywhere, to me that makes no space for new blessings to come in, new positive energy to come in, and old and negative energy to go out. So I think it's good to constantly clean and get rid of things that you don't need or that you can't use anymore, and maybe bless someone with it if you can, or sell it, or just get rid of it just to keep that energy flowing, clean and clear and flowing out with the old and in with the new. So that's how I've always felt. But I said all that to say that in van life, I have my ancestor altar, and I used to have it in my apartment where it was just a permanent setup. But in van life, I have managed to set up a traveling ancestor altar. So what it is I put it in a case when I'm not using it and keep it safe and protected. And then when I am using it, I pull the case out and I set it up and I use it. And so this is my ancestor altar here. I have put this altar in a cosmetic bag, if you will. It's a small traveling cosmetic bag that I got from like Marshall's, I believe. And when I was putting together this altar for when I started living in the van, I went around and I selected everything that I was going to need for this altar very carefully, because I needed the items to be special to me. I needed them to be beautiful. I knew that I was going to have my mother's picture on the altar, and so I wanted things to be just pretty. And it's very simple. It's not a lot of things. That is the way that I am. I am a simple woman, and I take pride. I feel proud when I say that, because a lot of times simple is better. And for me, simple is better. And so I'm proud that I'm simple, and I like to keep things simple. So I will turn the camera around so that I can show you how I set my altar up and just talk to you a little bit about what I do. with my ancestor altar. So I'll turn the camera around. Hang on, guys. Okay, so this is my counter. Let's see. I have my counter cleared. And this is actually my cutting board. I've cleared and cleaned this whole space. I cleaned it with a little water, distilled water, and a little bit of Epsom salts in it. Epsom salts are known to clean things. It's very antibacterial, and it's a good cleaner for, it's a good thing to clean with, how do I say this? It's a good solution to clean things spiritually with it. Epsom salt and water. And so normally the setup here is I usually have my drying mats here. I have a couple of drying mats here for when I wash dishes. I'll put the wet dishes here and then dry them with my drying towel, and then I keep my little pot holder here. So this is the usual setup that stays there 24/7. But when I'm going to use my ancestor altar, I take this off, put it to the side, I wipe everything down, and then I take the altar out. So I'll show you guys what's inside. So there are different compartments here. As you can see, it's a cosmetic bag. But I went around and got a few things to make this altar special. So the first thing is my mom's picture. And so I have paper towels in certain parts of it to kind of protect some things. Let me put it here. So this is my mom's picture, and I cover the base of this with, I'll let you pull it up a little so you can see it better. I cover the base with paper towel because it tends to get scratched. I saw a couple of scratches on it, so I protect it with this, and I put this back in the case. Also, I use Palo Santo to clear and cleanse the energy around my ancestor altar when I'm about to use it. So I keep a little bit of Palo Santo in there in my case. The next thing is I found this really pretty incense holder, and it just felt like my mom to me. I wanted to put a few pretty things on my ancestor altar, so I keep that there. And then this is really special. I was looking around for something that made me feel like my mom, that felt like my mom. And I ran into this at Marshall's. It says, "Things I forgot to tell you. That I love you, that I love you, that I love you." By Anais Nin. And I cried when I found this because I never felt like my mom loved me. I'm getting emotional just talking about this. But I never felt that she loved me. I had some serious abandonment issues from both parents. And I never remembered her even telling me she loved me. Only up until the time she was about to pass away, she started saying it. But just having a lifetime of not knowing or not hearing that your parent loves you, I feel like she guided me to this. And there's a story I told in another video. I'll tell you it again when I get this altar set up, but I'll show you the other things. So you have to have the 4 different elements on your altar. So I had to find the perfect little glass to keep water in. So the 4 elements is earth, water, air, and fire. And so here's another pretty little thing that I found, this lotus flower. And it's also a candle holder. Now this lotus flower has been kind of banged up a little bit. And so I'm going to repair it. I'm going to buy some gold paint and I'm going to paint all the cracks. And I found out a little while ago that this is a Japanese art tradition where they don't throw ceramics away that break. They glue them back together and they paint the cracks with gold and different colors, and they turn out so beautiful. And so I think I got that idea where this piece has been chipped in different areas, I'm going to put gold paint there and just keep it. I thought this was very special for my mom's altar as well. And so these are the things that I got for my mom's altar. Sometimes I will have a white cloth under the altar when I feel that it needs to be more sacred. There's so many different ways that people set up their ancestor altars. And I found, upon researching ancestor altars for years, I found that it's what feels good to you and what works for you. There's a few important things that you need to, that you really need to have there, like all the elements. But it's what you are guided to do. And it is your intentions and what you are guided to do for your ancestor altar. And so I keep this candle here on the windowsill, but when I set up the altar, I just put it inside. A white candle I usually burn. And then, hang on one second. So this is the crystal that I've been working with lately. I've showed this in another video. It's a citrine crystal, and it is my birth stone. And it is good for healing, abundance, prosperity, and creativity. And so I use that. And then I'll take a little of this distilled water. It should be spring water, distilled water, clean water that you keep on your altar. And my mother looks so beautiful on that picture. So I was guided to pick that particular picture because that is the age that my mother was when my mom was that age. Upon meditation, I figured that age she was in this picture was the age that I started feeling abandoned. When she was that age, she was working a lot, and she was really pretty, and she was dating, and she was just gone a lot. And so I'll light my Palo Santo. I have my ashtray here. This ashtray has been around since I was 5 years old. A lot of different things happened that were unpleasant. I can remember some traumas happening when I was 5 in the house that we had this ashtray in. And I remember some good memories too, but I feel like this ashtray plays a part in my healing childhood traumas. So when my mom passed away, I found this ashtray in a drawer, and I knew that I needed it for my healing. So I use this ashtray when I'm burning and releasing, when I'm burning sage, and when I'm burning Palo Santo, or maybe even a cone incense. I'll use it. So I'll burn a little Palo Santo and I'll use it. I'll use it to clear the energy around my altar. And sometimes I even use it all around the van. It just clears the energy. I'll clean and clear my crystal with it. Thank you so much to the Most High and my spiritual team. I am truly grateful. And so I'll kind of put it out a little bit. It could smoke a little bit. And so what I would do here, in this dish, if I want, I could put some of my mom's favorite candy there. I could put a little bit of food in this dish if I want to, as an offering for my mom. I could, whatever it is that I have for dinner, I could put a little bit of that in there if I want. Just some type of food some type of food. What do I want to say? Offering into this dish. And that's what this dish was for any type of offerings of that nature. And then I would light my incense here. Frankincense is a good incense to light when you want to bring a spirit about, like the spirit of my mother. I would light a frankincense. Sometimes I would light a patchouli incense when abundance and prosperity is on my mind and that I'm seeking guidance on how to get there. Protect your family's dreams. Hang on 1 second, guys. Okay. I wanted to keep that nice music going. And so what I would do is I would just sit at this altar and I would hold my crystal and I would think about the benefits of this crystal, because I need everything that this crystal, all the benefits that it has to offer. Abundance, prosperity, creativity, healing. So I would just hold this crystal, close my eyes, and tune into, I would tune into the music that I'm playing. Let's see. I forgot to light my candle. So I would have all these things going, the music, my candle lit, my incense going, my water, and any offering that I choose. Lately I haven't been putting an offering in here. There's a thing called Ancestor money as well that you can burn, and I will probably burn it in my ashtray as an offering, an energetic offering of money to your ancestors. So you could offer food, drink, money. And so what it is said that when our ancestors cross over, they still need things on their journey. Where they're going, they need prosperity and good energy, blessings, prayers. They need help with clearing energy. There's so much to having an ancestor altar. And we can assist them in their journey on the other side. And in return, they can assist us as well. Because they've been here. They know what it's like. And so it would be just like you're helping a relative. You pray for them. You wish them well. You help them when they're in trouble or when they just need help along their journey, you know. And so I haven't been having any food in this dish, but what I've been doing is been connecting with my mother. So the story is, when my mother was a year before she passed away, I was telling her that I had started an ancestor altar, and I was telling her everything that I'm telling you guys. And she was fascinated with it. A lot of things that I'm into, my mother was into as well. So she was fascinated. She thought it was interesting. And so I told her I had my dad on the altar and my grandmother, which is her mother. And she said in her old lady voice, and she was kind of sickly too, she says, "Put me on your altar." And so I kind of laughed. And I said, "You can't be on my altar. Only people who have passed on are on my altar." And I kind of, laughed it off. And then she looked at me again and said, "Put me on your altar." And so I kind of laughed it off, and we went on talking about something else. And then a year later, she died. And I remember I could hear her voice saying, "Put me on your altar." It was like, my mother was very feisty, so it was like she was saying, "Put me on your altar," I said, like that. And so I laughed, and I went and found this picture. And I'm getting emotional because I found this picture of her. I didn't know why I picked this picture at the time, but this is the age that she was when I feel like most of my trauma and offenses and afflictions happened with me and her. And when I set up this altar, I went out and shopped and found these things. I sat down at the altar. I had music going, incense burning, candle burning. Immediately, my eyes were drawn to her eyes. And and they locked. And I felt so much love. So much love. And I felt that everything that she couldn't tell me in life, she tells me here. Which is why she probably said, put me on your altar. She was letting me know that she was going to communicate with me like she needed to here in the spirit realm, in spirit. And this ancestor altar has brought about so much healing for me. Even finding this so appropriate. I was walking through Marshall's and I walked right up to this and picked it up and just started crying. So I was loved. I was loved. And so now, these days, since I quit my job, I have not been putting any offerings there, but I feel like I've been offering my mother spiritual healing. There's been a spiritual exchange between us of healing. When I look in her eyes now, I tell her, I'm sending healing energy from you and eons of generations before you. I'm breaking generational curses. I'm sending healing. I'm clearing negative energy from eons and eons of generations before you. And from you to eons and eons of generations after you. I'm clearing that energy. I'm sending my healing energy and love both ways. And so this is what I'm offering my mother. I feel like this is needed right now more than the physical offerings. And so this is what I've been doing, and it's been very powerful. And I look in her eyes and I let her know, I got you. I got you. And I feel her looking back at me. Letting me know that she's got me too. So I do that, and sometimes I just close my eyes and meditate, and I think about the Most High. I do a lot of visualizing. My spiritual team surrounding me, because I've always felt alone in my life. I am an introvert anyway. And I actually enjoy being alone. I'm laughing because I've always felt alone, but I've grown to enjoy being alone. It's not a bad thing. It's a very beautiful thing. You get to know yourself fully. Oh boy. You really get to know your true self fully and deeply. And then sometimes I look at this flame. This is another form of meditation. I look at this flame. I stare at this flame for a couple of minutes at a time. And then I'll close my eyes right after. And when I close my eyes, I see visions behind my eyes. And I swear I feel like these visions are from long, long ago. I feel like these visions are from long, long ago. Like maybe from Egypt and beyond. So, yeah, I wanted to share this. This is so special and sacred to me. I'll turn the camera back around. I'm happy to share this with you guys. I knew that I wanted to right after I sat here this morning and did my meditations. I knew I was told to share this with you guys. So I don't know who this could help. I'm hoping that it helps someone, even one or two people. I'm hoping that it helps. And I love you guys. I love you. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. And may you be happy.